I'm the founder of SpaceDraft, which is a project management tool for immersive and interactive experience design. So VR, AR, our tool helps non-technology creatives communicate their ideas for content. I'm talking to the students today about the advantages of being a woman in technology and why we can't let the boys have all the fun. Also, just to teach them some, real life skills of fate favouring the brave, if you will. I told them a bit about my experience through filmmaking in Hollywood, visual effects, to VR production and now software development. So it was good. It's good for them to understand that just because they don't essentially know what it is that they want to do now doesn't mean that they won't know in a couple of years, but they need to keep their options open so that when they find eventually what it is that they're passionate about, they're able to put in all their previous experiences into that. So what is this here on the board? What I see is possibility, because what it is, it's an empty space. And that's it. It's an empty space. So who here loves movies? But the idea for movies came from the theatre. Who here likes drama? Yeah? So what happened was that a bunch of really smart people realized that if you used light in a certain way, you could capture images over time. So that is what we began with, silent, black and white movies. But the exciting thing about this next wave is that, back to my amazing diagram, we are now on a new trajectory because movies are really Marvel movies regurgitated. Like, there aren't a lot of earth-shattering new films that are coming out, because guess what? Who here plays video games? Who here has a cell phone? Right. Who here uses filters or Snapchat or anything like that? Well, that's all competing time, because back here, you know, when we had our, Wizard of Oz, there weren't cell phones and there weren't video games, so there were more people watching movies. But now the popularity of films is trickle da 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 da. And so now we have a whole new timeline. If this is 100 years of the history of the film industry, then this is 100 years, which is the future. And guess what, guys? We're not even at sound yet. Sound's here. We're not even at colour yet. Colours here. We're just here. So we have a whole development waiting for us to figure out what it's going to look like. So what it does is it can manipulate emotions. Sound manipulates emotions. So if you put sound and light together to manipulate emotions, you can make people feel or see and act in a different way. So this is far more than entertainment content. It's a way to manipulate how people see the world. So you can help people be less afraid of things or more afraid of things, just like with any kind of technology. So what I ask you to do is just remember that art can't evolve without science, and science never needs to be afraid of art. So yeah, the empty space will never be the same, because what is an empty space? Exactly. So that is where we're going. We've got huge potential for possibility for the future, and it's up to you guys and me to all work together and not be afraid of the unknown, afraid of what's going to happen. I didn't know that I'd be living in America babysitting movie stars, and I didn't know that after that I'd be building these things. My favorite thing is basically to help bring people together to know that they're not alone in their curiosity for how we can manipulate space over time, and basically helping everyone know that they too can bring something unique to the development of 3D content. Well, science, technology, engineering, maths, great. All of the above for for software development, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality creation. It's important to have an all-round understanding. But I think, you know, some of the greatest contributors to this space are those that come from non-STEM related backgrounds too. But in order to appreciate what STEM does provide, you need to be aware of the skills required in order to do well at STEM. Absolutely. I mean, I think all students should be curious about what doesn't exist. I kept using the analogy today about an empty space, because if they approach an empty space with seeing it as not just a void but opportunity and possibility, then they can apply what it is that they know to that. I think just having a hunger and a curiosity for learning is just essential to not just being an all-round good student, but an all-round good person, because by being interesting, you need to be interested. And I think that is what is going to help the next wave of technologists, whether they're women or men, appreciate and understand each other more so than when I was going through uni, for example. Everyone has something to give.